Besides the app, what are the solutions to combating bullying? I'm joined now from Atlanta by Patti Agatston. She's president-elect of the International Bullying Prevention Association, and she's also co-author of the book Cyberbullying, Bullying in the Digital Age. Patti, we've been talking about both bullying and cyberbullying. Has cyberbullying made things much worse? It seems to be more common in some respects than traditional bullying. And the other thing is it's 24/7. You can't get away from it. If you're a kid, you may be bullied at school, you come home, it's right there on your computer as well.
Right. Well, certainly cyberbullying seems to have complicated the picture of bullying. We actually know that despite a lot of attention to cyberbullying, that in-person bullying still occurs with more frequency. But there is emerging research that suggests that what can be particularly troublesome is when students are experiencing both in-person bullying and cyberbullying. That mixed harassment can really cause the most severe distress for students. And frequently that's what's happening when kids are being cyberbullied. They're also experiencing in-person bullying. So we need to address all aspects of the bullying that kids are experiencing.
Can you tell us kind of from specifics, when it comes to cyberbullying, what are some of the things that you're starting to hear that are said or sent as a result of cyberbullying?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? What are the things that we're
what sorts of things are said or sent via cyberbullying?
From kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible that kids may have some in-person drama at school, but then or in-person bullying, and then they'll go to Twitter or to other social media platforms to talk about what has happened, and perhaps it may be hate lists that they start about a person, or they may just say, I'm so sick of this person, and everyone knows who he or she is talking about, but they may not actually say the person's name. So sometimes it's inappropriate images that are shared and passed around. But so there's a lot of different ways that cyberbullying can occur.
There are several studies looking into what parents think are the biggest online threats facing their children. We've got a graphic to show you at the top of the list. Explicit or inappropriate content. 4 in 10 parents say communication with strangers and sharing personal information. They consider those big threats. But close behind, parents fear their children will be victims of bullying. And a lot of times the kids don't want to share that information with their parents, which makes it even more difficult in some respects. What can parents do to protect their children? What should they be looking for as signs that their child might be bullied as well?
Sure. So watching for signs that their child seems a little more withdrawn than usual, if they're upset and they don't want to go to school, or they seem distressed after they're using social media, to really try to keep those lines of communication open so that they can ask their kids, hey, what's going on? I see some changes in your behavior. Really letting your children know ahead of time. If you do experience bullying or cyberbullying, come to me, talk to me about it. I want to help you. And then it's really important for parents, if a child approaches them, to not get too reactive, even though it's upsetting. Of course it is, as a parent, to find out your son or daughter's been bullied or cyberbullied. If we get incredibly upset, then they become concerned that they've upset us. They become more anxious and stressed out. They may be less likely to come to us next time. So remain calm. Thank your children for telling you. Tell them you've done the right thing. And we're going to work together to try to solve this problem. And I'm going to partner with you. And we can also approach the school where appropriate, commend them for any steps that they've taken to also address the bullying.
Can you push the school to do more? Should you?
Sure. Particularly if you approach them, as a partnership, let them know. Sometimes schools are not aware of all the different forms of bullying that are occurring. So make sure that they have detailed information about what's happened, and really approach them as a partnership to say, how can you partner with us to make sure my child feels safe at school? And also, we want to make sure that all kids feel safe. So, make that a win-win. We know that even kids who aren't bullied or cyberbullying, but who witness it, can also have some negative effects. They're more anxious and concerned when they see that happening.
What's the advice you give to children in terms of protecting themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in fact, what we know is that kids who are empathetic and are able to appreciate differences and have take other people's perspectives, they're less likely to engage in bullying. But having those, also having kids be familiar with what they can do if they are targeted, having a circle of support, who they can go to for help, can help. In terms of online communications, we know that the kids who harass and embarrass and threaten others online are twice as likely to be victimized themselves. So it's actually a protective factor to treat others well.
Let me ask you one final question before we go. What are the long-term impacts on a kid? I mean, I know it can batter their self-esteem. How does it impact them long-term?
Well, we actually know that there's some research that indicates that there are long-term both physical and mental health problems for being bullied or cyberbullied. And so that's been a big concern. And actually, we have a researcher presenting on her findings around that at our International Bullying Prevention Conference that's going to take place November 8th through 10th in Denver, Colorado. And so we really, Tracy Valancourt is going to be presenting her research, and we really encourage parents, community members, educators, join our organization. We have webinars and information where they can learn a lot more about the effects of bullying and what they can do to help.
Well, Patti, it's certainly a very important topic, and a lot of parents obviously very concerned about it. Thanks so much for joining us.